subscribe. Tariq Radio. Like and subscribe.
Let's get Red Road Girl in here. Red Road Girl. If you can unmute that microphone, that would be splendid.
Hi, Tariq.
Hey, Red Rose, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm just listening tonight. It's the first time I got on here, and you were cracking me up. Like, there's a lot of stuff I agree with. There's a lot of stuff I don't agree with.
Like what, man? Like what? What don't you agree with?
Well, what do you want? The good? You want the good or the bad?
Give me all of it, beloved. Give me all of it.
You want all the stuff?
Now, what
all right.
don't you agree with? What did I say that you would disagree?
Oh, see, I knew it. I knew it.
Yes, yes.
What I would say that I mean, I don't know. I think it's really stretching it. Like, I'd like to see you like put some proof, pasted on the top of this thing here, of where white supremacists made the Mexican people come over here.
Oh, I'm just saying in general, where you just open the borders and allow immigration, it's the dominant white society who allow that stuff, who controls the legislation that allows people over here. We have to go through them.
I mean, I can understand that. It's just that when you say, I'm not saying there's no white supremacists. Let's get that straight.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that I think, me hearing that, if you would have said like white people, it would have hit me more, because that's a broad swath of this country.
But I have to say white supremacists or suspected white supremacists. I have to say suspected white supremacists, because we got to remember the founding fathers and so many other people, they call themselves that. See, when you talk about white supremacy, this is what this nation, legislators, presidents, founding fathers, educators, they were saying white supremacy up until 1965 openly.
They were?
Yeah, they were. They were very open about being white supremacists. Even the white feminists, they were bragging about how the feminism that they were practicing is going to strengthen white supremacy. Abraham Lincoln. Yeah, Thomas Jefferson talks about the importance of white supremacy. All of this is their word.
But he was in love with the black woman, and he had all those kids.
Exactly. And he wrote a book, The Letters from the State of Virginia, talking about white supremacy and how supreme the white race is and how inferior black people were. Abraham Lincoln too. Yes, indeed. So it's a very interesting dynamic. That's their word. So we're giving them their word. All right, let's get some more people in here. Let's get Fawcett. Let's get Fawcett in here. Then we get Jason in here. Fawcett, then Jason. What's happening?
Going, Tariq. I do want, or sorry, Mr. Nasheed, I apologize.
Either or, it's all good.
No worries. I just want to show respect. I do want to say that your opinion on the white supremacist power structure allowing illegal immigration to come in is completely unfounded, bogus, and I can tell you this with...
How so?
Senators have allegiances. They have allegiances elsewhere. Like, you don't have an allegiance anywhere else. You are solely an FBA, correct? 89% of Congress, I believe, has dual citizenship elsewhere. If you had two passports, would you really care about what happens in this nation completely?
A lot of people wouldn't. They have dual allegiances. They wouldn't.
Thank you. That's the reason why this illegal immigration is not due to white supremacy, because the whites, the quote unquote honkies that you claim are causing this immigration crisis, they're not the ones in power. The ones that are not in power are not the ones allowing illegal immigration.
Who's in power? Who's in power?
Jews. I don't know why you're not going to go ahead and say it. Very simple. These senators have dual citizenship with Israel. Now, you can go ahead and hide behind the truth, but I just don't want you to go and say that, Ohioans that are working these slave jobs of like being a diesel mechanic are the ones causing the immigration crisis.
But
The other thing
hold
is
on.
too is that these two cultures are incompatible.
But if it's Jews, how come the black Jews don't have
Yes.
no power?
Okay, we're gonna stop this real quick. Where in do you see in Israel black Jews?
Yeah, and they are marginalized. You got black Jews over there getting forced sterilizations. Remember that from a few years ago? There were some Ethiopian Jewish women were over there getting forced sterilizations. They were filing lawsuits complaining about white supremacy over there. Yes, they're being thrown under the bus over there. So why are the
Okay.
black Jews walking around powerless? Even over here, we talk about Jews. You got the black Hebrew Israelites. They're standing on the corner
Yes,
yelling
but
at people. They don't have no power.
yeah, those are not in the eyes of the faith
Why?
legitimate Jews. Those are guys who claim to have a descendants from like a technicality. It's almost like in the Christian faith, Stragonite Latter-day Saints in Michigan claim to be the correct and one true only church. It doesn't give them any legitimacy
Oh,
at the end
okay.
of the
So the
day.
black
So
ones are not
yes,
legit.
no, I'm not saying they're not legit. I'm saying that because those Jews do not recognize these Ethiopian Jews as legitimate, they are basically crushing them down. It's the same exact thing that happens between Protestants and Catholics. It's the same kind of thing. You're looking at it through a racial lens when they're looking at it through a religious one. And
So who get? Well, no,
what
no,
I'm
no.
saying
Slow
is,
down. So who gets to
go ahead,
determine
go ahead.
which Jews gets to determine who's the legitimate ones or who are not the legitimate ones? Which Jews?
Very simple. Hasidic is a very big, very Hasidic, Orthodox Hasidic has been
So the
around for a
white
very long
ones. So
time.
the white Jews get to decide who's legit and who's
Whoa,
not
whoa.
legit, right?
No, Hasidic is not a race. Hasidic is a
Then
sect of
who are the
Judaism.
powerful black Hasidic Jews?
They don't have them
Wow.
because
We're going
no, no,
rounds.
no, no, no.
All
The
roads are
issue
leading
you
right
the
back to white supremacy, ain't it?
well, no, for two reasons. Number one, Jews are not white, and number
They're not.
two, in
They're not.
Judaism,
They're not. No,
in
no, 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 no,
Judaism,
no. They're not.
go ahead, go ahead.
So, how do you differentiate between a Jewish person who's a white supremacist and an Anglo who's a white supremacist?
Okay, three ways.
Mhm.
Number one, an Anglo wants to see all white
No, no, no. I
individuals
didn't ask
from
you what
the
their
entire.
ideology was. How
How
do
do
we
I differentiate?
differentiate?
You mean like
How do you know that a person is a
racial?
Jewish person who's white? How do you know a white Jewish person from a white Anglo?
Oh, I can tell you that. It's very simple. Number one, the you want me to talk genetics? You want me to talk culture? I can do
I mean,
15
just
different
what's
arguments.
the
Like
difference physically between a Jewish white supremacist and an Anglo white supremacist?
so number one, there's no such thing as a Jewish white
Yeah,
supremacist. That's
yeah.
Antifa.
I mean,
That's in
literally,
that that's
you
that's
do.
that's like a black Klansman.
No,
It makes no
sir.
sense.
You've had people like Dan Burroughs, who's infamous. He was a part of the American Nazi Party. He was outed as Jewish, and then he committed suicide once they outed him. But he was very instrumental in the American Nazi Party, Dan Burroughs. There were a lot of them. You had a lot of Jewish Nazis over here. So this is very well documented.
Yes, you're talking about one single. You're again, that's a straw man argument right there. You're talking about one
But he
single
blended
individual
in.
over the.
They didn't know that. So a reporter from the New York Times, I think, he was the person who outed him. They didn't know. He blended right in. So if they can blend in,
Yes,
it's a
yes, we
differentiation
have
without a difference, right?
yes, we have some light skins in society that can blend in with the Middle Eastern crowd, all because they do not look explicitly Jewish doesn't mean
Yeah,
they
but
are
they're white
not.
enough.
So
They're still white. They get the what privileges and benefits of whiteness do they not get?
no, that's the issue. They get more because of their
Right.
Jewishness.
There you go.
They
So
get
they
more.
st-
No, no,
they
no.
get all of the benefits and privileges of whiteness, plus a little bit more because they can say that they're a marginalized ethnic group. So, yeah, they might get a little more. And I think the Anglos are resentful because they get a little bit more. That's where the resentfulness comes in. And then you try to circle back to us like, hey, those people that I sat here subjugating you with, they're getting more of the spoils of war. So, hey, look at how they're doing us, black people. No, no, no. It doesn't work like that, sir. You're trying to get us to have a camaraderie with you when you're both against us. That's the problem. You see?
Okay, here's the issue though. You're saying that the Jews and the whites have a camaraderie with one another when the actions that the Jews are taking to America are actively destroying it.
Um,
The people that we're importing are destroying the nation. They're not building up this white supremacist utopia. Trust me, you would know. You would know if it became a white supremacist utopia. It's not. It's becoming the
so
opposite.
are
Our
you one of
nation's
these
become
people who think that the slave trade was really controlled by the Jews?
Yeah, it was up there. It was very much up there because you have to remember, even in what do you call it? Even in the ye old days, not even African slavery, but Middle Eastern slavery, Jews were the money changers. They've literally been the money changers for thousands of years. They literally were selling trinkets in temple in which Jesus threw them all out. These are the people who have known how to buy and sell things for thousands of years professionally. And you're going to sit and tell me that, oh, they had no hand in
Yeah.
it buying and selling individual human beings? That
Yeah,
makes
yeah,
no
yeah. There were
sense.
a lot of white supremacists from different religious and ethnic backgrounds who participated in slavery. So, yeah, it's a distinction without a difference. They were still under the banner of white, just like a lot of Jewish people
Even
now. Over here, they are
even before
classified as white.
okay. We're gonna roll this back real quick. Even before the Jewish migration to Europe, they were still considered white.
No, there were Jewish people who were black. One of the earliest people was a man named Eldad the Danite, who was a celebrity in around the 8th century, 9th century, who was from Africa and who taught Europeans about a lot of Jewish practices. So there were black Jews. A lot of
Okay, I just want to make the distinction that not all Jews can be black. Not all Jews
no,
are
no, no,
white
there
and
were
such like
black
that.
Jews. They're absolutely black Jews. So this is what we're talking about when you say, well, the problem is Jews running things, but it's
So,
the black ones are not. So that means
so I
the
am
white
going to offer
ones.
you.
It's the white ones who are running them.
So I am going to offer you
Mhm.
this. These I call them Latinos colloquially. Excuse me if that's an offensive term, but these Latinos from the southern border are coming here. They are harboring very much anti-Israel sentiment. These individuals do
Doesn't
not
matter.
like the
Okay,
nation
okay,
of
yeah,
Israel.
that's like an argument among thieves. That's like inconsequential because you all benefit from white privilege. What do
No,
Jewish people benefit from white privilege or not?
yes, in some instances,
Right.
but why would they be importing people who are
Doesn't
antithetical to their
matter.
own
You still
existence?
benefit from whiteness. You benefit from white
That would be
privileges.
like importing Asians who are
Doesn't
against reparations.
matter.
You're destroying your own
You're
argument. So what
included,
I'm getting
you and Jewish people, and I'm assuming
yes,
you're from your people are German, Irish, you,
some around the Europe, whatever. It doesn't have
right?
to be them.
All of
Sorry.
you benefit
Hmm.
from white privilege, sir. All of you. So all of this other stuff
Correct.
is inconsequential. When you
I'm
and a
talking about
Jewish
in the United
listen,
States.
when you and a Jewish
Go ahead.
person walk down the
Hmm.
street, are you profiled by police?
I mean,
Right, you're not.
no.
Neither one of
No.
you. You're not.
No, but all because we get treated the same by law enforcement does not mean we're equal or the
Yeah,
same in
yeah,
any way,
yeah.
shape,
But
and form.
as far as racial privileges and protection, see, you're white enough to
Okay.
get
Where
you're
is
white.
okay?
Slow,
Then
slow
where is the
down.
white nation I can run
You're
to? Where's the
white
white
enough
nation
to
I
get
can run
legal
to?
protections. All right.
Okay.
You and
No,
Jewish
no.
and
Here's
you and white Jewish people are white enough to be protected legally where you're not being targeted by mass incarceration. You don't have a lot of Jewish people being mass incarcerated, nor people white like you. You're not being redlined. You're not being forced into sterilizations. You're not being miseducated. you enjoy the benefits, and some of the white Jewish people, of whiteness, sir. So just because y'all have some internal differences, that doesn't mean you don't still benefit from whiteness. Your internal differences are inconsequential, sir. That's what I'm saying.
Correct. And I get between whites and the Jews, it's inconsequential. But at the end of the day, the whites have nowhere else to go. The Jews do. They serve two masters. Do you
It
agree that you
doesn't
cannot serve
matter,
two masters?
sir. You guys,
Yes,
you
it
can go
does.
back to Europe if you wanted to go back. What's stopping you?
I
And go
can't
back
legally
and go
migrate back.
back for what?
I
And go back
can't.
where for what? Leave for what? You live in a country that has rolled out the red carpet for you. What? Why would you leave?
I can give you two
Let
reasons
me
right
hear
now.
this.
Two reasons
Gotta
right
hear
now.
it.
Number one, let's say tomorrow let's say China goes to war with the United States of America, right? I and a majority of white Americans do not qualify for citizenship anywhere in Europe, anywhere in Canada, anywhere in historically white nations. Jews do via the law of return. So, by virtue of their birth, they are already set apart from whites because they are allowed to go back to Israel, no questions asked. The right of return is also a way a lot of Jewish criminals in
Name
America
Jewish people
get
in America that went over to Israel for safety.
they do all the time.
What
There's
what danger
Israel
are they in over here?
Okay, so number one, Israel does harbor all criminals that flee to Israel. Like, for example, there's a lot of I'm trying to remember, not Harvey Weinstein-esque guys, but a lot of American Jewish pedophiles do go back to Israel because there is no reciprocity. What's the word
White
called when you
pedophiles
go
are
to a
protected
nation?
over here. You got NAMLA, you got all types of white pedophile organization. White
They are not
pedophiles are
protected, my good
protected
sir.
over here. Yes, they are. They got whole white
Okay,
pedophile
so
rings. They don't do nothing to these white sex offenders. They give them slaps on the wrists over here. Come on, man. Let's go. Let's not. Yeah,
okay, but do they have their own so
yeah,
okay,
they got
okay.
America. That's what they got. They got America. This is a
Okay, good.
sanctuary.
So good, good. I might just if that's the case, then I should be able to go molest someone and then walk out the next day like nothing
Yeah, that
happened.
happens with white people
That's
all
what
the
the
time. They sexually
no
abuse kids all the time and get slaps on the
no.
wrist all the time, especially in Hollywood. They got whole rings of sex trafficking with kids out here in white
Yes,
society.
you're talking about people with infinite money and infinite power. You're talking about a
Not
select
even
few.
that. No, no, no.
I'm talking about 2% of
No,
the
no, no.
American
White
population.
people who are white, classified as white, y'all can go out here and kill people, rape kids. Y'all can do anything out here and get slaps on the wrist, sir. That's what white privilege means, sir. And you don't have to have
Okay,
a
that
lot of
may
money.
if that's the case, then if
Whiteness
white
is the
privilege
money.
allows you to do anything,
Whiteness is
because
slow down. Your
go ahead, go ahead.
whiteness is the money. Your whiteness has
Okay,
monetary value, no matter what your
if
ethnic
whiteness
background is.
if whiteness, just whiteness, not Judaism, if just whiteness itself was a currency that allowed us to get out of jail free, why is Derek Chauvin in jail again?
For murder?
But you said that if we can touch kids, murder is not that big of a difference. I'm just telling you that whiteness and
No, no,
Judaism are not
Chavin,
not the
when
same.
you use Derek Chavin as an example.
Well, yes, because if whiteness is an immediate get out of jail free card, then he should just be out
No, you
frolicking in a
know
field
why?
somewhere.
You know why he's not in? He's not out. They were going to let
Why?
him out because he had that what we call $1 million worth of whiteness. They were going to let him out. You know why? There had to be over $10 billion of damage to the United States in order to get that man locked up. There were nationwide riots to get that man locked up. The price of his freedom got too high. So they said, oh, we need to go ahead and lock him on down. It's too much billions of dollars of damage being done. That's the price of white supremacy. You know how much it takes to get a white supremacist suspect in jail? It took billions of dollars in property damage to get this guy locked up. That's my point, sir. It don't take that much to get a black person locked up. You don't have to do all types of property damage. You just go get him and lock him up. But in order to get that man locked up for murder, because they were going to let him go, they had every intention to let him go. Billions of dollars of damage had to be done. That's called white privilege, sir. And you, other white supremacists, and people who are Jewish who happen to be white, they enjoy those same privileges and benefits, sir. So all this other stuff, This
Correct, but they enjoy the benefit of not having to deal with the consequences of their
doesn't
actions.
matter. That's okay.
A
That's a
white person
problem
who
between
slaughters anyone still
that's the
needs. Go
problem.
ahead. Go ahead.
That's like thieves arguing about who gets most of the money they stole. You dig? Y'all rob a bank and then y'all sit up and argue about the money you stole, and one person gets a little bit more. So you're arguing among thieves and you're trying to get the victims of the thievery to side with you. And it sounds ridiculous. Just like with slavery. They try to sit here and say, well, it was the Jews who had slaves. They had most of you. No, it was the Anglos. Well, both of you had us enslaved. Well, look at the Confederacy. You had
Correct.
Irish Confederate leaders, Scottish, Jewish. Judah P. Benjamin was Jewish. He was like they were calling him second in command in the Confederacy. All of them were anti-black. So yeah, it's inconsequential to talk about the religious or ethnic background of people who are classified as white. You see?
And again, I so desperately want to agree with you on that, but it just seems incredibly antithetical to the existence of white supremacy to allow people into this country who do not share the same ideologies as the white man does not share the same temperament to the not socioeconomic, the Middle Eastern question as the white man does. It just seems antithetical to the existence
No, it
of the
doesn't,
white
because
power
what
structure.
happens is the groups are allowed over and then they're gradually amalgamated into whiteness. They've always done that with immigrant groups, sir.
Cor- cor-
Irish people were not really white first. They had to be gradually allowed into whiteness. Italians were not considered white first. They called them Guineas. Guinea means African because of their ethnic background and their proximity to African genetics. They had to be allowed into whiteness over time. Greeks had to be allowed into whiteness over time. Hispanics, they're being allowed into whiteness. You see, certain Asian groups, many of them classify themselves as Caucasian. They allow them into whiteness, sir. So that's why.
okay, so then let me ask, so then can the white supremacist power structure allow light skins into the
They
white
have
power
to,
structure?
because white supremacists, especially the Anglos, their numbers are too small. They have to bring in other groups in order to replenish their numbers. White people are 7% of the global population. So you have to bring in other groups and then allow them into whiteness. You have to merge them in slowly in order to boost your
So then
numbers.
if people from non-European nations can be grafted into
Yes,
whiteness, kind of like an olive tree, so then where does white supremacy end? Is everything
right.
white
No,
supremacy?
no,
Like
because no,
so that
because the
if there's no end,
the
go ahead, go
antithesis
ahead.
to white supremacy is black empowerment. That's why we foundational black Americans, they have to keep subjugating us and then bringing these other groups in and elevating them over us, and having these groups act as buffers between foundational black Americans and the Anglo whites. They act as a protection barrier. So yeah,
But
they got it locked up. Go
but
ahead.
if we've but if we've already established that we've allowed light skins, so like what's the outdated term,
Yeah,
mulatto, or what, I'm sorry, but if we're already allowing light skins, half black, half whites into the white power structure, I want to ask you a question. Where is the fine line in the sand of where white supremacy begins and black empowerment
right.
ends?
The
Like
white
where is that
supremacists,
line?
they kind
Like,
of determine that. They'll let you know who's white or who's white enough. They'll let you know when certain people go in and they're kind of light, but they got those black genetics. Oh, white society, they'll let them know. They're really highly sensitive over black people who can pass for white coming into their circles. They're very, very sensitive about that. That's why with the Jewish thing, they have an issue with that, because in Nazi Germany, the whole narrative was, and even now, this is why y'all bring up Jews. Um, Even Nazi Germany, the narrative was Jewish people are basically like a mulatto race. They're like a secret Negro race, and they didn't want them sneaking in those Negro genes. That was what that was really about, according to their writings.
eh,
So,
N- uh, 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 I beg to differ, but
Get
we
a book
can.
called Hybrid Hate, written by a Jewish guy. He breaks all of this down. The whole narrative was like Jewish people are really secretly black, and that's what was the basis of anti-Semitism. It's a very deep book.
Well,
Go ahead.
the issue is the man who pioneered anti-Semitism in Europe wrote a book called Mein Kampf. So I want to just go ahead and tell you that I heard it from the horse's mouth first. It wasn't due to the quote Negroification of Europe. It was simply because everywhere they went, everywhere Mr. H Man went, it was almost as if the degeneracy was pushed by a single group of people.
Don't
Money
matter
changing.
because again, those
Yeah.
people that you are beefing with, y'all all get on code against us. Y'all never defend us when there are white supremacist Jewish people or anti-black Jewish people. When they're attacking black folks, y'all never come to black people's defense. You line up right with them and attack us with them. So I don't want to hear all of that. Oh, they're really the problem. No, no, no. Y'all lockstep in line with them all the way across the board. You've never defended us from any of their attacks at all, so that you're on the same page with them. So just because they're getting more resources than you can't come to us complaining. It don't work like that. You see?
Okay.
There
Okay.
we go.
Okay.
Thank you so
I'll,
much. Thank you so
I've
much. Thank you
I have
so
a
much. You don't play that game. We do not play that game, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Stephen, you want to hop in, Stephen? All right. All right. And Banna Dinesh. Who is this Banna Dinesh? We got some weird people up in here. We got Israelite. Let's talk to some Israelites up in here. All right, y'all come on in here. We got a lot of people in here. We're almost 2,000 heavy in here. Stephen, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I just wanted to say to add when you talked about white people being in lockstep with Jewish white people, that's why Ben Shapiro exists because
Right.
he's always attacking black people, and he brought Candace Owens on the show, and she was fine when she was attacking black people. That's the only reason, and they were fine with him for years existing. Rush Limbaugh, all those people, and they're fine. But then when they want when something is not going their way, then they turn against the Jewish people for some reason. I don't know why,
Right.
but yeah, that's all I wanted to add.
Very good point that Stephen made. Yeah, this is why I'm saying I don't all the Jews are the problem. When white supremacist Jews, anti-black Jewish people are attacking black people, y'all ain't got no problem with them. Ben Shapiro, all his anti-black rhetoric, y'all don't defend us from Ben Shapiro. Y'all don't never say, hey, Ben, don't talk about the blacks like that. You should know. Y'all never do that. Y'all sit there agreeing with them. Dennis Prager. He's Jewish, has Prager U. They spew all types of, is a anti-black think tank. All they do is spew anti-black rhetoric. They don't never call him out. Y'all never defend black people from Dennis Prager. You see? Milo, he's another one. Y'all don't defend us from Milo. So I don't want to hear that. Don't come crying to us now because they didn't finesse you guys out of some of the resources. No, they're getting the spoils of war that you can't get. Let's get Banna. Banna, hop on in. Banna. All right. Banna ain't saying nothing. Let's get Israelite. Israelite, hop on in.
Hey, Tariq, can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's going on?
Hey, man, how you doing?
How you doing, brother? I'm good.
I'm straight, man. I appreciate it. Nah, just listening to this dude, man, like this, just the shit that be coming out of these people's mouths, man. Like how he can say, you've always said they got $1 million worth of whiteness. You
Yes,
always bring up that Kyle Rittenhouse effect, but
absolutely.
then the point of, I don't condone rape. Majority of the black community don't condone that shit, but I don't know if you remember that one girl. She was at, I think it was a college girl, but anyway, she was drunk, got raped by this white dude, and they give him 6 months. 6 months in jail. That's it. A slap on the wrist. Knowing if,
Yes,
if it was somebody like us that did that shit, man, we'd be under the jail. So this,
absolutely.
this shit is crazy. But I definitely see what you say about these people. These dudes are they just vindictive and just they liars. They lie all the time. But all right, man, I appreciate it, and I'm gonna land my plane right there.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. All right. All right. Let's get Banna. Are you in here, brother? Vanna, are you in here? All right, let's get Freedom. Let's get Freedom in here. Freedom. Uh-oh. Hey, Freedom, how are you?
Wow, a huge space.
Yeah.
I just have one question for you, Tariq. You said to that other guy who was just in here, not the last one, but the one before that, where you hung out with him for a little while, and you said to him, that I don't know what you said. I don't know how you said it. You said, why is it that when white people and black people are walking down the street, that black people are being profiled? Is that what you said?
No, no.
Oh,
And I asked him, are there name some of the white Anglo or the Jewish people, the white Jewish people who are profiled at all by police? And he can't name it. They're not.
okay. So you didn't say that okay. So you didn't say like, why are black people being profiled? You didn't say that.
No, no, but because we already know that a lot of black people do get profiled. This is well documented
But okay, so then knowing so much how much you know, why do you think that is?
because of white supremacy. We're in a system of white supremacy. Now, why do you think black people get profiled?
I don't really know. I mean, I know that there's a good percentage of both white, black, Latino. I mean, every ethnic background is committing crimes across this country.
Right.
Um, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know why you would say, like, you would call a white person, like why you would call me a white supremacist by knowing that everybody is being profiled, not just black people.
But everybody's not really being profiled, though.
You don't think?
No, everybody's not really being profiled. Black people are disproportionately profiled, and we've always been profiled. The police, as we know it, they came out of the slave patrols during slavery. So the spirit of targeting black people has always been there since the inception of modern policing. And that's a problem because
Right,
then it gets into constitutional violations, you see.
right. No, I understand. Okay, I just wanted to clear that up because I'm trying to learn Tariq, and it's not always easy to learn and understand things, but you really have a good grasp of history
Mm-hmm.
and where everything is generated, and most people, including myself, don't have a clue.
Mm.
And I want to thank you for teaching me a lot of things. That's all.
There you go. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. But
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
yes, indeed. But yeah, like I said, like Brother Stephen said, man, a lot of these suspected white supremacists, a lot of them happen to be Jewish, and they're not criticized by the Anglo whites, like Milo, um, Dennis Prager, Ben Shapiro, Dave Rubin. He gets into some stuff that many people believe is anti-black racism. Laura Loomer, that's another one who spews a lot of she's Jewish. She spews a lot of anti-black gibberish, and she's running around doing the white supremacist hand signal. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, don't miss me with all that stuff. You can miss me with all that. They all clicked in with each other. Yeah, y'all not gonna play hot potato with your racism. We don't know. There's another one, Neve. Here's another internet troll. Some of these white supremacist internet trolls, many of them are Jewish and engage in that weird behavior.